Month away from wedding, Mill is giving silent treatment. Some background to the issue: about a year ago, fiancé and I have been engaged for 2 years. We went to dinner with my fiancé, his parents, and his aunt and uncle. My fiancé is the baby of the family and the only boy, and has been babied by his mother for the majority of his life. She was genuinely surprised when he wanted to move out and go to college. I fully believe she expected him to live with her for the rest of his life. My fiancé does not like his mother, and has drawn some boundaries with her in the past. At dinner, things were going smoothly. I've never had any issues with my Mill, so it was completely out of the blue. She began by making snide comments about what my fiancé ordered. We began to talk about wedding planning, and told her we looked at a venue. She asked if we liked the venue, and we told her we did, but we would still be looking around before we booked it. The conversation moved on, but she started looking out the window and making snide comments under her breath like they never include us in anything, they didn't even include us when they bought a house, they don't love us, etc. My fiancé and I work shift work and have one weekend off a month together, so getting everyone together happens once in a blue moon. My fiancé called her out on the comments. She threw a fit and yelled, so we left. She messaged him after we left saying the venue was ugly, our colors were ugly, we shouldn't have it in the fall, and that she wanted a pink spring wedding. She also told him she was making the biggest mistake of his life. He ended up going no contact with her for about a year. They finally amended some things, no apology was ever given. She began to try to insert herself into the wedding again, sending me dresses she wanted me to wear. I am adopted but have a great, loving support team from my family who took me dress shopping. My fiancé and I are paying for everything in this wedding by ourselves. She kept buying random decor that did not fit our wedding. We finally told her we have everything we need for the wedding, and want to keep it minimal due to having to take everything with us once the wedding is over. Since then, she has not responded to a single message from either of us. I, personally, am fine with this, but I just know when the wedding day comes she will have some BS to pull. Please give me tips on dealing with the crazy. It makes me feel like I am the crazy one. Comment. I think you and your fiancé really have it under control as you are a united front, are paying for things and making decisions on your own, and have support from your side of the family. I would discuss with friends and loved ones or a therapist about how you feel about his mom and come up with some boundaries that she cannot cross. You don't even have to tell her about them, and if she does these things this is the consequence. A great book is Boundaries by Melissa Urban. Best wishes for your wedding. Hope you have a great time. Y'all seem to have things well controlled. The only thing I can think of is to appoint a babysitter for her. Somebody who can charm the pants off her, not actually, ply her with champagne and her favorite snacks, who'll happily commiserate with her about the decorations, the theme, the guest list, whatever else she'll bitch about. The last thing you'll want to worry about her shit on that day, so if she's even invited, she'll be best off staying far away from y'all. I'd sit her down, the both of you, and tell her that while the silent treatment from her has been a welcome treat, you're done tolerating her nonsense. If she tries to pull any shit at the wedding, if she even looks at you the wrong way, she will be escorted out, and you don't care if it's silently, or if she's loudly throwing a tantrum. This is her one and only warning. And you're going to have to stick to that, so hire security or have a larger cousin follow her around. The faster you're able to nip this in the bud, the happier your married life will be. She wants a pink spring wedding? Cool, she can get married again or do a vow renewal and have it how she wants. She is trying to relieve things through you and it's not okay. Did they RSVP? If you have the budget, hire people to watch out for her and her side of the family's behavior. Have clear instructions and make it clear to everyone people can and will be kicked out if they don't behave. Where is your so in all this? His mother should be his problem primarily. I'm going to add that you should contact any and all vendors you are using and set up passwords and strict instructions possibly added to any contracts you have with them as well. This way, neither Mill, nor any of her flying monkeys, can adjust, change, or cancel any of the plans y'all have set in place. Otherwise, you could show up to your venue and see the whole thing redone in shades of blush and bashful and looking like it's been hosed down in Pepto-Bismol. LMAO. Unfortunately you know the silence won't last long. Enjoy it while it does. But do not go after her. Let her stew in her silence. You and your fiancé did nothing wrong. You are adults who know what you want and how you want your wedding. I paid for my most of daughter's wedding and gave input if asked, That's it? If I had a question I asked and accepted their answer. It has nothing to do with her, she gets no input unless asked. She's jealous you and fiancé are doing this alone and are not pining for her help. As the day gets closer, expect her to break her silence and act like nothing happened. Treat her at the wedding just like every other guest. If she's there, great, if not, oh well. Next story 3. AITA for kicking my sister out of my wedding? So a little backstory before we get to the main issue. My fiancé and I have been engaged for a little over 2 years and are getting married next month. Combined we make about $170K a year. We decided on a place that is perfect for us to get married at and never expected anyone to help because, 1, we chose a place that fits our budget, and 2, it's ultimately our day and what we want, so we planned on paying for it ourselves. Now my fiancé's parents make more than my family does. My fiancé's parents offered to help in any way they can and have paid for stuff without us even asking. They paid for our bridal shower, which included the gifts, the food, and the rental spot. They also paid for her dress, which was about $1K. My parents volunteered to pay for the rehearsal dinner and the dessert. We chose a place for the dessert and gave my parents a price. We chose to do cupcakes and just a little 2-tier cake from a popular bakery called Everything Bundt Cakes. Well, when we went to place the order we found out the buntinis are really small and decided maybe we should double the order. I called my mom and she confirmed it was okay even though the price was doubled. I asked her if she was sure because they were planning a trip to Mexico at the time and my dad was working a second job to be able to afford it. I told my mom I don't care if she wanted to do something else because of the price change, but she reassured me it was fine. So we placed the order and thought that was that. Now on to the issue. A few days after we placed our order I get a text from my sister saying we need to talk. So I texted back asking what was up. She goes on this huge rant saying I need to stick up for my parents because they work so hard for what they have, and me deciding to double the dessert order, what's bullshit. I tried explaining to her that our parents agreed to it and reassured me it was fine. It wasn't like I told my parents this is what we are doing and you don't have a choice. My sister started calling my fiancé a crybaby and me an ungrateful bitch. I told her if she kept it up she will be uninvited to our wedding because I will not put up with the way she is talking to us. She said fine, take me out because I'm done with you and you won't see your niece ever again. There was a lot more choice words that were said that I won't get into, but my fiancé was upset and crying and I won't stand for that. I have completely cut my sister off and have not talked to her since. I didn't have a conversation with my dad and a lot of tears were shed between us. I haven't talked to my mom because she makes excuse after excuse for my sister as to why she acts the way she does. I have also went low contact with her because I don't want to start any more drama. So I ask if I'm the asshole for going NC with my sister even though she's family. Edit. I guess I should clarify that my dad did not pick up a second job just for this wedding. He's been working a second job for a while now on the weekends just for extra money for anything he wants to do. My mom is a homebody and her number one excuse for not doing anything is money. They did end up going on vacation and had a wonderful time, but my dad uses this money for baseball games, high-end whiskey he likes to drink, gas for his motorcycle rides. Stuff like that. Edit. To a lot of you are saying my dad took a second job to make ends meet, which isn't the case. He's had a second job on the weekends driving a limo for extra money, period. He didn't take a second job to pay for desserts for a wedding. Edit 3. And maybe my final edit. I offered to pay the difference of the dessert or pay for the rehearsal dinner. They also offered to pay for to offset the cost. The desserts we chose were the cheapest option we found that didn't include a professional baker. I've also told my parents I don't care about the money, but they, once again, reassured me it was fine after a lengthy phone call. Comment. No, you're not, but it sounds kinda like one of your parents, probably your mother, based on her excusing your sister, complained about the situation to your sister and made it seem to her that you were forcing them to pay double. It's either that or she's jealous that your parents went out their way for you. So what? Up asked, said no big deal, but they wanted to contribute something. You are acting like the parents were forced at gunpoint to do this. Up even said they could figure something else out. The problem and only problem is the stupid sister sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. She was eavesdropping, overheard a very small part of the story and decided that Up was the devil and so was the fiancé. Up has stated that the second job driving limos is for fun stuff for him only. They have money, are not broke, are planning a vacation to Mexico. Up made sure they would be okay with it, knowing all that. Maybe, just maybe Up knows their parents better than some anonymous person on the internet. Did it even occur to you that maybe the parents would have felt even worse if UP and fiancé paid for it themselves? They want to contribute what they can, this is not affecting their budget obviously, and how embarrassed do you think the parents would have felt if they found out it cost twice as much and UP just unilaterally decided to cover the difference? I don't even have kids, and if someone did that to me without even asking if I could, I would be embarrassed. Don't assume crap about my finances without letting me decide on my own. It's clear that especially Dad would have put a stop to it if he felt they couldn't afford it, and probably, like a good married couple, talked it over before. Maybe even had a number amount they could go up to without hurting themselves. You are more insulting acting like the parents are feeble children who couldn't figure it out. Dude, she told her parents time and time again they were happy and in fact preferred to pay for everything themselves. Her parents are likely paying because they want to and would feel offended if they weren't allowed to contribute. Can you imagine how belittling it would be to say we want to pay and contribute? Oh goodness no. We couldn't bear to have you take on that hardship. No, even if you insist we must decline, it's basically 1. Treating them like they are poor, 2. Implying they don't know how to handle their finances as adults, and 3. Telling them that they don't know mean what they say. Look, even her parents did bring on hardship to pay, it's not UP's responsibility to stop them from making stupid designs. If UP dated a guy who was bad news in the past, her parents couldn't say you can't date him because it's a stupid idea. They can. We think it's a bad idea, but human beings have a right to make decisions for themselves even if they're dumb. But honestly, it doesn't sound like it was an issue. Dad was already working a second for his own benefit, and it doesn't sound like they are about to be on the street. At the most it's a bit of a pain.